My name is Michelle, also known as Mickey Sunshine Crafts, but you can call me Mickey. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Kwanzaa. I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas today, and for those of you here, welcome. And I'm glad you decided to spend a little of your precious time with me. For lack of anything else, I found a bunch of tags that I shall attempt to answer today. Can't promise I'll answer each one, but I'll try. I'm Jewish and I celebrate the whole Christmas season. The message of goodwill and peace is universal, ain't it? Anyway, let's start with these questions so you can learn a little more about me. First thing, I'm working on Diamond Art Club's Friends of the Sea. And I just started it, so that's what I will be working on today. Anyhow, let's begin the questions. Number one, who is your hero? It's such an easy one. My hero is my mom. She'd been through a lot in her life. And especially the fact that my dad left my mom when I was 6 years old. And she was, apparently he had gone to the Netherlands, to Amsterdam, and was gone on business for several weeks. And my mother was walking down the street in New York City one day, and she bumps right into my father. Apparently, he had met someone over there, flown back with her, and moved into an apartment without ever telling my mom. So that was a rough time for her. But she's got over it, and she built a life and a career. She was a knit fabric designer, and I admire her so much for her perseverance. Next, she's my hero. If you could live anywhere, where would it be? Oh, that's such a good question because I may have to move soon. My landlord is thinking of selling the apartment. So I have a choice of where to live. And if I can live anywhere, it'd probably be right here. I mean, not necessarily in this apartment, which is tiny and small and cramped, and I hate the kitchen because I can't move anywhere or do anything. But moving I lost track of what I was talking about. Living anywhere, right. Forgot about that. If I can live anywhere, I'd like to live in a different apartment. That's about it for me. Uh, this apartment is way too small for the two of us. I'd love to have my own craft room again, but that's not to be. All right, let's continue. What is your biggest fear? Oh boy, I have a pathological fear of palmetto bugs and cockroaches. If you don't know what a palmetto bug is, it's a cockroach on steroids. The things have to be at least 2 to 3 inches, and when I see them, I just scream and jump on the nearest thing I can jump on. Ask my roommate. And it stems from when I was 14 years old. And my grandmother parked the car near a construction site in Florida. And when they went to lift the slab, just as I was getting out of the car, hundreds of these bugs come scurrying out. You never saw somebody jump so fast. Apparently, I jumped on top of the car. I don't even remember how I got up there. I don't remember the incident in the exact detail, but I remember it happening, and I remember the fear. Or I'm going to go on to the next one because I don't even want to think about palmetto bugs or anything like that. Ooh, heebie jeebies. What would you change about yourself if you could? No, there's a lot of things I'd change about myself. Okay, next question. What is your favorite family vacation? Well, we never really went on family vacations, not when I was younger. In fact, my first vacation of any type was when I was in my 20s. No, take that back. I was 19 years old when I had my first vacation. And my vacation was a trip to London that was treated to me by my then boyfriend, who was a travel agent. And he had gone over to London to do some gambling for some reason, though also for business. And apparently he won a lot of money, and he says, come on over. So I'm running around New York City, because I grew up in Brooklyn. And I'm running around New York City trying to get my passport and everything. And I've got a ticket for tomorrow night. And I finally got my passport. I get on the plane, and it's first class. Oh my goodness, was that a nice trip? I vaguely remember it, but I remember it as being very nice. And I spent 2 or 3 days in London. We had a great time. And then he lost everything, and we wound up flying back coach. 9 hours in coach, let me tell you. It was no fun when I was 19, and it was worse fun when I was in my 50s. Oh, I'll tell you about that another time. Let's go on to the next question. What would you change about yourself if you could? Well, aside from the fact that I'm not very good at dieting, and I'd love to change that, there's not much I would change about myself. Maybe to be a little bit more relaxed when talking to myself, like I am now. But I'm not talking to myself, I'm talking to you. And I so appreciate you being here and spending this time with me. So there's not much I would change about myself. What really makes you angry? Ooh. Drivers who put their brakes on before they put their turn signal on. It makes no sense to me. Put your turn signal on first. I've had so many near misses because of that. People cutting in front of me. It's drivers. It's other drivers. That's what really makes me angry. And I get angry at a lot of things. But I curse like a trucker when I'm in the car. Okay, what motivates you to work hard? Good question. What motivates me to work hard? Well, I've always worked hard at any job that I was given. You know, I educated myself, I taught myself, I did what I had to do. I'd come in early, I'd leave late. Most of the time I came in late and left late. All right, let me rephrase that. But otherwise, no, I wouldn't. There's not a lot that motivates me to work hard that I'm not already motivated to do. I mean, yeah, money might motivate me, but not as much as a good working environment. Oh, well, let's go on to the next one. What is your favorite thing about your career? I love this question. It's because I'm retired from that career. I retired about in 2007, and mostly because I was disabled from an accident, which I'll tell you about another time. And I enjoyed my career while I did it. My favorite thing about it was working with people, with customer service, because I was an office manager and managed a cell phone store in their back office, and people were constantly calling us rather than calling the cell phone company when they had issues, and I would deal with them, and I enjoy dealing with people. So I would say that was my favorite thing about my career. Okay, what was your biggest complaint about your job? My biggest complaint about my job, let's put it this way, my last job as an office manager, was I was working for my brother. Don't work for family. It rarely works. And that was my biggest complaint about my job, was my brother. I love him with all my heart, but he was no businessman. I had more experience than him in business as far as back office work went, white collar. He was a mechanic for most of his life and owned a couple of shops, but white collar is completely different than blue collar as far as what needed to be done. And it's difficult to do it when he won't let you. Anyway, that was my biggest complaint. What is your proudest accomplishment? Good question. I don't know that I have a proud accomplishment, other than I've accomplished living this long, which is a miracle in itself. Yeah, okay. Next question. What is your child's proudest accomplishment? Well, I have no children, but I do have 3 wonderful, wonderful nieces, and I am very, very proud of everything they've done. The youngest, Amanda, is a nurse, and she just got married 2 weeks ago, less than 2 weeks ago. And the second one, my middle niece, Paige, is a therapist, a child therapist, and she does a very good job of it. She's working part-time now because she just had twins. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, twins don't run in my family. And for her to have twins don't run in his family either. And for her to have identical twin girls, oh, what a blessing. And they are so cute. Of course they are, but I'm prejudiced. My eldest niece, Diana, is also very accomplished. She became a medical assistant? Or what do they call them again? My mind just went blank. You know, she worked in medical. And she now teaches over at the local college, and she's also president of the state association for her group. So I'm very proud of her. I'm proud of all 3 of them, even though they're not mine. They're mine by virtue of being my brothers and by virtue of the fact that I love them all wonderful. And the eldest just had a child also. The twins were born in September, and my eldest niece had a child in January, early January 4th, in fact. Well, she'll be 1 year old. Ah, how cute. All right, let's go on with these questions. Let's keep it moving here. What is your favorite book to read? Favorite book? Well, I'd have to say I have two favorite books. The first one is the book that got me reading in the first place. I was never much of a reader when I was young. So I didn't read much until I grabbed a book off my dad's shelf because I was bored one day. And it turned out to be Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert Heinlein. That book changed everything for me. I don't know why. It's sexist and, completely misogynist. But it's a wonderful book, and it got me to the point where I just became a voracious reader. The second book is actually a trilogy, and that would be Lord of the Rings. It's just, they're just my favorite books. What makes you laugh the most? I can't talk today. What makes you laugh the most? What makes you laugh the most? Oh God, I laugh a lot. Or at least I used to. People make me laugh. I laugh at myself. What makes me laugh a lot is if I trip. For some reason, if I hurt myself, I'll start laughing. But comedians make me laugh. My friends make me laugh. My roommate makes me laugh. I laugh at a lot of things. What I laugh at the most? Probably my roommate. He's a good one. All right, next question. We're up to question number 14. What was the last movie you went to, and what did you think? I don't remember the last movie I went to. It's been that long. So I couldn't tell you. But I can tell you the last movie I saw was... No, I can't tell you the last movie I saw either. It's been a long time since I've watched movies. I'm just too busy diamond painting and listening to YouTube. Though I'd have to say, I did enjoy Avengers, the last one. I think it's the last one, where they brought them all back, or most of them back. I just like science fiction and fantasy. That's my go-to reading if I have to. Second choice is romance. And that's also my go-to for watching TV. I love watching Hallmark movies. Don't ask me why. They are stupid. They are ubiquitous and pretty much the same. Using the same formulas. But I love watching them as much as I'll watch any type of science fiction or fantasy. I will not watch horror. No. Horror movies. Nuh-uh. No gore, no scary stuff, no. A friend of mine took me to see The Ring. Oh my God. I didn't know I thought it was a romantic comedy. I had no idea it was a chiller. So, hold on a second. You're going for the mailbox?
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's the roommate.
Gotcha.
Again, what was I talking about? Oh, the last movie. Oh well, let's go on to the next question. What did you want to be when you were small? I never had any ambition to be anything when I was small. At one point, I wanted to be a ballet dancer, doesn't every little girl? But, hmm. No, I never had ambition to be anything, which is probably why I never was anything other than an office worker. Granted, I was management, but I was still an office worker. What does your child want to be when she grows up? Well, we know I don't have children, so that's a moot question. If you could choose to do anything for a day, what would it be? Now, are we really fantasizing here? Because if we're really fantasizing here, what I would choose to do for a day is to go out and walk around Las Olas, go to the Hollywood Boardwalk and walk around there, go to the Boca Town Center and walk around there. You getting the point? Walking is the key word here. That's because I have very, 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 very much difficulty in walking. And it hurts, and I can't walk for more than 1 or 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes at the most, before agonizing pain. I have spinal stenosis. Okay, so I would choose to walk if I could do anything for a day, just to walk around, especially if it could be a day like today, which was absolutely beautiful. Okay. What is your favorite sport to watch or play? Well, that is an easy one. That's a very easy one. That would be hockey. I'm a Go Panthers, Go Florida Panthers fan. And I'm in love with the Panthers. And if I enjoy watching them. I enjoy going to the games mostly. And they're a good team too. I mean, at least they were at one point. Hopefully they'll get better. Okay, let's go on to the next question. Would you rather ride a bike, ride a horse, or drive a car? That's a silly question. Drive a car. I don't want to ride a horse, and I don't want to ride a bike. Okay, what would you sing at karaoke night? Well, I used to be a professional singer. Yeah, professional for about a whole 3 years, 4 years. I sang in a top 40 band up and down the East Coast. It was a great job. Let me tell you, if I could have done that for the rest of my life, I never would have worked a day in my life, because I loved it so much. Hard work, but I loved it so much. But what would I sing at karaoke night? Good question. Probably, I don't know, anything by Carole King, Donna Summer. You can tell my age by the singers that I'm mentioning. Some of you may not even know who I'm talking about, which really makes me feel old. Okay, next. What two radio stations do you listen to in the car most? Now that's silly because radio stations are local. So if I tell you what station I listen to, what's it going to make a difference to you? You're in other states and possibly even other countries. So you wouldn't know my radio stations even if I told you. Sorry, that's a dumb question. All right, here's an interesting one. Which would you rather do? Wash dishes, mow the lawn, clean the bathroom, or vacuum the house? I'd say it's a toss-up between wash the dishes and vacuum the house. Actually, I think I'd rather wash the dishes because I can put a chair up by the sink and sit down and wash them, which I do sometimes. Not often because we have a dishwasher. If you can hire someone to help you, would it be with cleaning, cooking, or yard work? Well, I do have someone to help me, and it's with yard work. No, it's with cleaning. I don't have a yard. But if I could, I'd hire someone to do the cooking too. Oh, I love cooking, but I just can't do it anymore. I can't stand up in the kitchen and do all that mise en place I need to do and get everything set up and cook. It's just very difficult for me. I mean, I do it sometimes. My roommate helps. And that's definitely what I would want help with, is cooking. If you can only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? Well, that's a good question. I think it would be a surf and turf. And my idea of surf and turf is lamb chop and lobster. Those are my two favorites. I am gaga for lamb chops, and I am head over heels for lobster. I don't get either of them very often. Probably, though, if I could only eat one meal for the rest of my life, I'd get sick of it after the first month. Okay, question 25. Who is your favorite author? You'd think it would be Heinlein, but it's not, or Tolkien, but it's not. It's Anne McCaffrey. I love her Dragon Riders of Pern series. And I've read that series at least 3 times. And I'm possibly want to read it again. It's so good. So I'd say Anne McCaffrey is my favorite author. There are more questions here. But first, I want to tell you a little bit more about me and my roommate, who happens to be one of the best guys I know. He's been my roommate for the last 16, 17 years. Lasted longer than any of my marriages. I can say that for sure. But we get along like brother and sister. Well, better than my brother and his sister. And it's wonderful. We have a very good relationship, and he's wonderful. What can I say? I bet he's blushing. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to pop that in there. Okay, let's go on to question 26. Have you ever had a nickname? Ooh, yes, I have. I've had several nicknames. The first nickname I ever had was called Peanut. I got that nickname when I was 14. because I was little and shaped like one. I just blossomed one summer. Went back to school and I had an hourglass figure. Made me very uncomfortable, but that's why everybody called me Peanut. And because I'm short. I'm only 5 feet, 1/2 inch. Though I've since lost the 1/2 inch. I may have lost even more, I don't know. But another nickname I had was Mouse. And this came about, and why my nickname is Mickey now. This came about because my uncle used to call me Mickey Mouse. Why, I have no idea, but he did. He still does to this day. He calls me Mickey or Mickey Mouse. My brother picked up on it, but he insisted on calling me Mouse. So my brother calls me Mouse. My uncle calls me Mickey, and everybody else calls me Michelle. Though Mickey is my nickname for now, and that's how I got Mickey. Well, Mickey Sunshine. An interesting story on how I got that handle. Mickey, obviously, we know the story for that. That's from my uncle, Mickey. Used to call me Mickey. Still does. But I got Sunshine because my mom used to call me her Merry Sunshine. That's because when I was younger, and this I do remember, I wake up smiling. I still do. I wake up and my eyes are wide awake. And I'm up and out of bed within a few minutes of waking. So, and I used to be very cheerful when I was younger. I'm still cheerful, but not the same as I was then. Okay, that's so much for my nicknames, and that's how I got the Sunshine in Mickey Sunshine. If you're hearing any noise in the distance, it's my roommate emptying the litter box. Thank you, Dan. Everybody say hi to Dan. Okay, do you like or dislike surprises? Why or why not? It depends on the surprise. You know, I don't like surprises like bills that come, and I don't like surprises like finding a lizard in my shoes, which, yes, I have found that. I have 2 cats, and I have found a lizard in my shoes more than once. I even found one without looking. Ooh, that was a horrible feeling. But good surprises, like someone's bringing me something, or giving me a gift, or taking me out to dinner, or just saying something nice, doing something nice. Those surprises I like. All right. In the evening, would you rather play a game, visit a relative, watch a movie, or read? I'd rather diamond paint. I do. I want one of those. I want a t-shirt that says, I'd rather diamond paint. Or I'd rather be diamond painting. I want one of those so bad. Because in the evening, I'd rather diamond paint than anything else. I mean, maybe color, maybe knit, maybe crochet. I'd rather do one of my crafts than play a game or visit a relative or watch a movie or read. Though when I do watch TV, I do tend to read during the commercials. So I multitask. That's fun. Ooh, here's a good one. Would you rather vacation in Hawaii or Alaska? And why? Well, I would rather vacation in Hawaii because I hate the cold. Unless it's Alaska in the summertime. Then I wouldn't mind going to Alaska. But I've never been to Hawaii and I hear it's beautiful and I would love to go. Okay. Don't ask me why, but they are shooting firecrackers. They're shooting firecrackers. Not sure why. It's not a holiday.
He's ruining his exhaust system.
That's someone's car?
Man.
That was someone's car?
Yeah, he was making it backfire.
Oh, he was making it back.
Ruining his exhaust.
Guy was making his car backfire. Interesting. Yeah, this is real life, folks.
Nothing for you.
Not hiding from it. Next question. Would you rather win the lottery or work at the perfect job, and why? I'm going to take this back to when I was working. I would rather win the lottery. Even now, I'd rather win the lottery. Because the only job I ever had that I actually truly loved was singing. And if I can't do that anymore, then I want to win the lottery so I can enjoy myself and go on trips and visit people. I mean, I'd love to see America. I mean, I'm a red-blooded American. I'd like to see our country. It's a beautiful country. Okay, who would you want to be stranded with on a deserted island? Oh, that's a good one. I'd like to be stranded with Patrick Stewart in his heyday. There's just something about him that gets me every time. I've got this thing for bald guys. Okay. If money was no object, what would you do all day? Probably pretty much of what I do now, which is diamond paint, color, knit, crochet, watch TV, read, talk to people, chat with friends, watch YouTube. My life wouldn't change that much. I'd just be able to afford more things. You know, I'd be able to. I don't want the money. I want the things that the money can buy and the freedom that the money can give me. Okay, if you could go back in time, what year would you travel to? That's a very good question. I don't know if I want to go back in time. I'd rather go to the future than go back in time. I like to see what's going to happen and look ahead rather than look behind. On the other hand, if I can change something in the past, I would go back to when I was in high school and kick myself in the butt to go to college and get that degree in architecture that I wanted. That would have been the best course for me because I love drafting, I love art, but I also like detail work, which is probably why I like diamond painting so much. It satisfies my creative side, but also satisfies my, I wouldn't call it OCD, but my more particular side. How would your friends describe you? They probably describe me as outgoing, talkative, cheerful. Because when I'm around people, that's what I am. I like people. And I like to let them know I like them. So, question 35. What are your hobbies? Well, duh. Okay. I've been talking about them, so. What is the best gift you have been given? Wow. That's a hard one. I've been given a number of gifts, and I can't say any of them is better than the other. But I say the best gift I've been given is having my roommate here. And it is a gift. What am I up to? I'm up to question number 37. What is the worst gift you have received? Underwear. From my brother. Yes, it was a gag gift. But still, it was the worst gift. Aside from necessities, what one thing could you not go a day without? I could not go a day without my cats. Not one day. No. My cats are my babies. And I wouldn't want to be able to be without them. So I would say I could not go a day without my cats. Okay, list 2 pet peeves. Well, I already listed one, drivers on the road. That is a pet peeve. But a second pet peeve, politicians. Yeah, that's about all I'm going to say on that. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't see myself doing anything different than I'm doing now, which is enjoying the time I have and doing mostly what I want, though I wish I had more money to do it with. But yeah, in 5 years, I don't see things changing much. How many pairs of shoes do you own? Ooh, I'm a woman. I may only wear 1 or 2 for the most part, but I have 1, 2, 3, at least 20 shoes, maybe more, maybe less, but at least 20 pairs. I had more when I was younger and thinner and could walk in heels. I can't walk in heels anymore, so everything is flats or wedges. Okay, if you were a superhero, what powers would you have? I would be Superman, or rather Superwoman. I would want invincibility, X-ray vision, extreme hearing, able to shoot lasers out of my eyes. I mean, who wouldn't want to be Superman? I would not want to read minds. No, thank you. But I would want to be Supergirl, Superwoman. And by the way, do you watch Supergirl? I do. What would you do if you won the lottery? I'm going to take that as what would be the first thing you'd do if you won the lottery, because there's a lot of stuff I'd do if I won the lottery. I mean, if I won the lottery, I would definitely buy a condo, a bigger place than I've got here, and a nice place to live. That would probably be the first thing, would be to find a place to live and buy a place to live. Because renting stinks. Of course, owning your own home stinks also, so what are you going to do? But, yeah, I would definitely get a new house. Then I'd probably go shopping. I mean, if you have a new place, you can go shopping for new stuff. And I do enjoy shopping. I am a shopaholic. I can't help it. I love shopping. I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to be doing with this. I mean, we're going on 45 minutes here, so I'm going to wrap it up soon. Another few questions and then we'll go. Okay. Won the lottery. What form of public transportation do you prefer? Air, boat, train, bus, car, etc.? Well, car isn't public transportation, so that's a little off. I don't prefer any public transportation at all. That's why I like my car. And when you live down in South Florida, where there is hardly any public transportation to speak of, just buses, and they're not very reliable. And they're reliable, but there's not too many of them. And that's what makes it difficult. They run on a regular schedule, but the schedule is few and far between, let's say. When I lived in Manhattan, in New York, my favorite form of public transportation was the subway. I mean, I'd get on the bus to go to school because all right, let's backtrack a little. When I was 15 years old, I moved in with my father and my stepmother into Manhattan because I was going to the High School of Art and Design. And I didn't want that commute. I was taking a bus to the subway, and then a subway to school. And then I had to walk 3 blocks, long blocks, from Lexington to First. And those are long blocks. It's not so bad in the summertime, but in the winter, so I moved in with my father, who lived 20 blocks away, and that's the short blocks. He lived 20 blocks away from the school. The school was on First Avenue and 54th, and my dad was on First Avenue and 76th. So almost 20 blocks away, and I would just hop on the First Avenue bus and head right down there and drop me off right on the corner. Same thing for the other way, though I would walk sometimes if it was nice out. So I would prefer train or a bus if I was in New York. Here, a car. What's your favorite zoo animal? Can't say I have a favorite. I mean, I love the koalas and the macaques and giraffes and lions and tigers. Don't care for bears. So it's hard to say. I mean, these questions. Favorite zoo animal? Who has a favorite? Unless you're 6 years old. Then you might have a favorite. Okay, there are 100 questions in this thing that I'm asking. So, and we're only up to question number 47. And I think I already answered this next question, because if you could go back in time to change one thing, what would it be? And I already said that I would go back in time and talk to my high school self and kick her in the butt to go ahead and go to college. I mean, I did go for one semester, but that's nothing. Okay. What is the longest you've gone without sleep, and why? I don't know why, but the longest I've gone without sleep was about, oh, I do know why, was almost 72 hours. And that was because I was having an incredible flare-up of my fibromyalgia that I could not sleep. It was 3 days of hell. And that happened a couple of years ago. And I remember that distinctly because it was 3 days and I was exhausted. But I couldn't sleep. What's the tallest building you've been to the top in? I've been to the Empire State Building. Let's say that's the tallest building that I've been in. Though I lived in Manhattan, they're all tall buildings. Oh, that was what was the tallest you've been to the top. Oh, yeah. I was at the top of the Empire State Building. I did go to Paris. I was there for one day, and I saw the Eiffel Tower, but I didn't have a chance to go up it. And I wasn't going to walk. I was going to take the elevator. But it was with a group from the cruise, and it was rush here and rush there, and it was not enjoyable at all. The only thing that made it enjoyable was that it was a perfect spring day in Paris. I mean, if I had picked up the phone and ordered April in Paris, this is what it would have been. Of course, it was May, but early May. Close enough to April. It was May 1st. How often do you buy clothes? Not often. In fact, I just bought a top for the first time in years because of my niece's wedding. I needed something to wear that I hadn't worn to the other two weddings. Because as I said before earlier, if I said it earlier, I don't remember. My youngest niece has gotten married 10 days ago. Well, 11 days ago on the 14th. And, oh, it was a lovely wedding. Okay, I'm going to end this here. And thank you all for coming today. And have a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. And take care of yourselves. Thank you for coming again. It's appreciated.